If you're watching this, chances are good you want to get a job. You want to go from student to rising star, and you want to avoid eating the same meal over and over and over again. Good news, you're in the right place. That's right, LinkedIn. It's not just for top executives. It's not just for old people with heavy briefcases. It's for you, and it's the perfect place for you to start your professional story. Say you want to get a job in New York City. You've never been there before, but that's okay because you have LinkedIn on your side. You start by creating your profile. You give it love because you know it's what recruiters are looking for day and night. It's your resume that never sleeps. It's your flashing neon sign that says, hire me, for the love of all that is good in this world, hire me. Then you start making connections. Alumni working in New York? Yes. Recruiters at top companies in New York? Yes. Your mom's best friend? Yes. You start imagining whose shoes you want to walk in. You think, wow, this is a lot of deep stuff to consider. You shake yourself out of it and start searching for jobs. Whoa, that's a lot of jobs for students. Time to get down to business. You start to tailor your profile. You start applying. You feel empowered, in control, like you should be CEO. That gives you an idea. You look up all the CEOs of all the companies you want to work at. You see one of them went to your university. Then it hits you. You see a clear path from campus to career. You feel like you can see the future. You wonder if you're psychic. Should you start a hotline? No, back to plan A. You keep tailoring and connecting and applying, and before you know it, you start getting responses. First a few, then more, then an interview, and then you're hired. And that's when the real learning begins.
Hello, Africa. Hello, Central Eastern Europe. Hello, Southern Eastern Europe, Turkey, Greece, Malta, Cyprus, wherever you're watching from, welcome to the Sizzler Friday live stream. My name is Stuart Samkanga, and I welcome you to this short live stream. If you've never watched one before, what we do is on Fridays, we preempt what's coming up next week. But let me introduce myself. Like I said, Stuart Samkanga from LinkedIn, where I get the opportunity to work with some of the most important institutions in our economy. I get to work with higher educational institutions, colleges, universities, polytechnics, and any other educational institution or nonprofit or foundation that is out there looking to help our community, our youth, build up skills for jobs and skills for entrepreneurship. So that's what I do in my daytime capacity, but I also get the opportunity to live stream and answer some of the questions that you have. So next week, like I said, on Monday, the 29th at 9:30 Irish Standard Time, we're live streaming how to hire Rockstar software developers. How to hire Rockstar software developers. Why? Because this is one of the most in-demand skills, whether in higher education, whether in commercial, or whether you're a public institution and you're looking to digitally transform your world of work. Welcome to the Sizzler. Is anybody watching? Is anybody hearing me? Is anybody out there? Well, if you are watching, let me know which country you're watching from, because here's the thing. On Monday, we're doing something a little bit different. Why? Because we're celebrating Africa Day. Based on the people that join the live stream, we want to look at some real-time insights into where to find software developers. So if you're watching from Africa specifically on Monday, if you are watching specifically on Monday, the 29th, when we start at 9:30, when I ask which country you're watching from, let me know which country you're watching from, because we'll want to look at the insights into where to find these software developers. And why do we want to do that? We want to do that because ultimately the people we're looking to enable are recruiters, our branding, and of course our hiring managers to be able to find you and give you new economic opportunities, right? So by us building up our profiles adding our skills, adding our certification, adding our recommendations, adding our projects, adding proof of the results and impact we've brought into the world of work. When we tell that story, recruiters and hiring managers, we're making it easier for them to identify us. Did you know that if you add certificates onto your profile, you increase your chances of being discovered, shortlisted, and hired by 9%? So add certificates to your profile. Did you know if you go further and you do skills assessments on LinkedIn, you increase your chances of getting those jobs, such as software developers, by an additional 20%? Because you're making it easier for the recruiters to shortlist you, because you have an attestment of your credibility of knowing that product, solution, methodology, whatever it is that you've taken the skills assessment against. That makes it easier for recruiters to know that your skills are validated. So you're giving yourself an additional 29% advantage over another job seeker by simply adding certificates onto your profile, and of course, going one step further and taking the skills assessment. All right, even on the Sizzler, we do have some structure. So let's go into a little bit of that structure in terms of what to expect and what's coming up. What I wanted to do with this Sizzler is give you a little bit of insight into what are the skills in demand. So if you're a job seeker and you're watching this right now, or you're a software engineer, front end, back end, or you are a software developer, or you're a student, here's some of the skills that are most in demand on LinkedIn. I'm sharing this with you so that you can reflect on, are you building these critical skills so that your profile stands out, so that your profile works for you to find you economic opportunities. All right, so let's have a look at what are some of those skills that are in demand. And we start off by looking at some of the most in-demand hard skills that they're looking for specifically for our software developers. So for our software developers, these are some of the most in-demand skills that I would highly recommend anyone who's on this trajectory or this journey of being a software engineer or software developer. I would recommend you invest on these skills. Because where are these insights coming from? These insights are coming from LinkedIn, looking at the 59 million companies that we have on the platform, looking at the jobs those companies are posting, anywhere between 4 million to 11 million jobs at any given time. And then we're looking at member profiles, your profiles, the skills that you have, and identifying what are the trends in terms of the jobs that they're struggling to hire for, the skills that are most in demand in every job description, and of course, the skills that you have as a member. And then we're taking it one step further to help you gain access to those critical skills through LinkedIn Learning. And of course, we'll deep dive into what LinkedIn Learning provides a little bit later on. Going one step further, again, to become a holistic professional, we must go beyond just the hard skills that we have. What do I mean? I mean us going in and ensuring that we've got other skills that complement us as working professionals or as job seekers. So what are these skills? Some of these skills, I term them as essential soft skills. Some of these skills inform our behavior, and that gives intelligence to our recruiters and hiring managers of the sort of team players and people that will be in the world of work. So we'll deep dive into that a little bit later on as we go into Monday's live stream, which will be specifically to assist recruiters, hiring managers, to identify you as the software developer that they want to bring into their organization. We talked about skills, and in terms of skills, the skills that are highlighted for you there are skills that you can find, of course, on LinkedIn Learning. Well over 18,000 courses are on LinkedIn Learning, and every single week 60 new courses are being created and added to the platform. But the courses, what makes them absolutely unique is that they're based on the skills in demand, like we saw. So if you want to build up your profile, if you want to give yourself a competitive edge and you're looking for bite-sized learning, you've often heard me say, make time for learning. There's so many things in this world that distract us, from television to all sorts of other digital media that can consume our time. But if we really want to be hired as the best software developers, if we really want to be out there as the best recruiters, we need to invest in ourselves and make time for learning. So let's make time for learning. And some of the skills that you can learn are some that you can see on the screen here from LinkedIn Learning in categories for business, creative, and technology. And on Monday, like I said, if you are a recruiter, talent acquisition professional, headhunter, if you are a hiring manager, program manager, digital transformation manager, if you're looking to hire, on Monday, I'm encouraging you to join us as we look at how LinkedIn helps you, first of all, understand where software developers are. Who's hiring them? Who are you competing with? What makes software developers tick? What are the things they care about? What kind of work flexibility are they looking for? What kind of personal development? What kind of culture are they looking for that inspires them and allows them to flourish? So all of these considerations will be some of the things that we'll look at in terms of planning. Then once we know what the talent market looks like, we then go out strategically, identifying industries, identifying companies, identifying skills where this talent sits, and are helping you bring your brand story and your jobs to that audience. And once we've brought it through to that particular audience, that audience will take one of two actions. They will look at those jobs, they'll look at your brand, they'll get to understand your organization, and they'll click to apply. If not, we will give you tools that will enable you to reach out to this community of software developers. Remember, software developers are highly in demand. Reaching out intentionally with messages that resonate with them is important. Reaching out specifically to them to give them an opportunity not to apply for the job, but to have a virtual discussion, a virtual coffee with the hiring manager, so they can understand the scope of the job and what is expected. So these are some of the tactics that we will assist you with, some of the strategies and the pillars of ensuring that you hire the best software developers out there in the market today. All right, it is a Friday Sizzler. It is a short one. We give you opportunities to ask questions. Do you have any questions? I'm here to answer them for you. It'll be a short live stream. In terms of recruiters, hiring managers, talent acquisition professionals, vice chancellors, head of projects, those who are looking and leading digital transformation and need software developers, here's my ask for you. Or here's how I'm going to support you. Well, like we said, we need to be strategic about finding this really hard to hire talent. Software developers are one of the most in-demand talent across the world. So how do we engage them? How do we reach them? How do we show our jobs that might be full-time, contractual, remote work, or jobs that expect them to migrate to new locations? How do we reach them? We reach them, like I said, first of all, by having access to insights that help us understand them as a talent, where they are, where they studied, what skills they have in common, and what skills are fast rising and skills that are aligned to the jobs, and of course, some of the challenges and aspirations that we have as organizations, as institutions, and of course, as stakeholders. So, where are they? Who's hiring them? What appeals to them in terms of a work environment? How to reach them? And where are they in their career journeys? How many of them are open to new economic opportunities and are saying, I'm open for work, as you see on LinkedIn? and where are the ones that we know are top performers, might not be open for work, might be gainfully engaged, but we have an opportunity to engage them and bring them over to our organization because we're showcasing our brand, our leaders, the people you work with. We're showcasing our team, the people who will be part of your team and report to you perhaps. And then we're showcasing our facilities as an organization. This is what we're providing in terms of work facilities and work flexibility, personal development, and all the other benefits that you offer. And because you have an awareness of the marketplace, you're able then as a recruiter or talent acquisition professional to know that this skill, as much as it's in demand in higher education, I'm also seeing competitors from banks, financial institutions. I'm seeing competitors from telcos, etc. So how do I position our work-life balance? How do I position our personal development opportunities if you join us versus joining those other industries? So planning, we work with your HR, your marketing teams, and we come out with great employer branding stories, and of course, a strategic talent brand strategy that helps us become talent magnets. And of course, as talent magnets, people will apply for our jobs. We will shortlist those who have the skills, the experience, the education, and those who have gone extra and, of course, done the skills assessments. We will also target to reach out those who might not have applied so that for those hard to hire senior software developer roles and other roles that we have, we're able to reach them and engage them in meaningful conversations in terms of hiring them into our organization. And like we said, once we've hired them, the journey doesn't stop there. We continue to develop them by giving them access to LinkedIn learning content so that they develop and grow as professionals and that they stay with us. All right, that Friday's Sizzler. I want to give advice, of course, to job seekers. Like I said, on Friday, I like to help job seekers on the platform in terms of what's your role? Your role as a job seeker, your full-time role. Your full-time role as a job seeker is to use your time and energy to make time for learning, to make time for following companies on LinkedIn that you're interested in, to make time to understand what they're hiring for by looking at the jobs, to make time to understand the skills that you have and possible gaps, and to invest in getting those skills, to make time to understand and build a strategic network on LinkedIn, a network based on people already in the jobs that you seek, so that ultimately that network helps you prepare for interviews. That network will be made up of professionals already in those jobs or institutions, colleges, universities, companies, so that when you see the jobs, you can reach out to that network to understand a little bit more about that particular opportunity and what would make you stand out, whether it be from a skills, experience, results, or impact. So as a job seeker, use your time strategically, invest in yourself. Job seeking can be quite laborious. It can be quite taxing. But if we're strategic, if we're building up our own personal brand stories, the jobs come to us through recommendations, through endorsements, through us sharing with the world of work the skills we're personally investing in to make us better professionals. So make time to share those skills on your LinkedIn profile. How do you do that? You add the certificates. How else do you do that? You add the skills. You have an opportunity to add those skills, and those who are connected to you have the opportunity to endorse you. And when they endorse you, it definitely helps from an algorithms in terms of, again, our recruiters being able to see that other people have seen credibility or seen you demonstrate those skills and are publicly endorsing you. What's more, people can recommend us. A written testimonial. If I'm a software developer, what project did I work on? What business problem did it solve? What impact did it have on our students, on our alumni, on our fundraisers, on our stakeholders, our customers? So written recommendations are powerful. You're making the job of the recruiter easier to find you as a job seeker because, again, they can now see who's recommending you. Where do they work? How far back was this relationship? What do they do? So your brand, your personal story on LinkedIn, which works 24/7 and is open to the world, should you choose, because everything on your profile you control, because we're all about members first. Remember, you can choose what to show on your profile. Having said that, if your profile's open and you're looking for new economic opportunities, and there's 930 million members on this platform that have an opportunity to look at your personal brand story, where they get to understand who you are, what results and impact you provide, what skills, certification, and educational journey you've been on, what volunteer experience you have, what awards you have won, what written recommendations and endorsements you've received from the world of work, what companies you follow, what groups you're in, what influencers on LinkedIn you follow. All of that is visible on your profile, and so much more, including rich media, videos, things that you post. So let's go beyond our profiles and post. And as I was saying about skills and certifications, as you make time for learning and add those skills and certifications, share to the world. What did you learn? What are the top 3 things that you learned that will impact your economy, your industry, that you're trying to get a job in, or that you're trying to help or provide services? Your LinkedIn brand profile speaks to the world 24/7. So leverage it, folks. It is there for you, and it is there to tell your personal brand story. So on Monday, here's what to expect. The 29th at 9:30, we're going to be looking at how to hire a software developer, a Rockstar, the best. What role do they play? What skills do they have? How do you interview them? And when you can't just post jobs, post and spray like they say, when you're doing that and it's not working, how else? How else do you find them? How else do you leverage insights? How else do you leverage your employer brand? How else do you leverage your leadership? How else do you leverage the talent that you have right now to engage and start being a talent magnet, attracting software developers into your organization? Oh, sorry. sorry, excuse me. Whoa. Super passionate about this. And as I said, going to give you an opportunity to ask questions, but we will be wrapping up shortly because this is a Sizzler stream and not a long one. So this is what to expect on Monday. We will be also on Monday taking questions live and answering them live. So specifically, like I said, if you are a recruiter in HR, talent acquisition, project management, if you're a team lead for software development, if you're a head of a school, a principal, we will be taking your questions and giving you answers on how to identify the very best software developers. And as I said, in an actual celebration to Africa Day, we'll be looking at jobs specifically for software developers in Africa. And as I also said, on Monday, I will be asking the question, where are you watching from? So you need to shout out your country. So whether you're in Ghana, Malawi, Tanzania, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Kenya. Did I miss out your country? Cameroon, Egypt. All right, Mauritius, Botswana, Eswatini. Shout out Lesotho. Did I miss out your country? On Monday, when I ask the question, where are you watching from? Let me know so that we can look at software developer jobs in your specific country or region. But have a look at this. These are the top jobs in demand in South Africa. Now, I said on Monday we're focusing on software developer roles. But software developers are called multiple things by different organizations. Front-end developers, full-stack developers, software engineers, possibly. Well, on Monday, we'll demystify how recruiters can be more strategic in terms of knowing what titles to use, how to frame up the job description to attract, engage, and holistically get candidates applying for jobs. So we'll be helping you with what is the best in class job description for software developers, how to position the jobs and the titles and ensure that talent comes directly to you. So like I said, the special shout out here, if you're watching today and you know a recruiter, talent acquisition professional, someone who hires software developers, or a software developer or job seeker, tell them about the live stream that's coming up on Monday. Tell them to join because we will be demystifying some of these top jobs in demand based on the country that you'll be watching from. And as I always say, each one teach one. On the Sizzler, you're going to learn something that you can share definitely with someone you know out there. Here's something you're going to learn and you can share. How to find jobs and how to leverage LinkedIn to find jobs. So if you are a job seeker, here's my advice for you as we're about to wrap up the Sizzler. If you are a job seeker, be strategic, be smart about how you go out and use your energy and finding jobs. Number one, if your profile is up to date, leverage the digital badge on LinkedIn to say you're open for work. That tells the world of work that you are ready and you're open. Number two, the headline. If you are a software developer, front-end developer, back-end developer, whatever you are, leverage your headline on LinkedIn to tell the world that skill that you bring to the world. So your headline on LinkedIn, find that little pencil mark underneath your profile photograph and edit that and put in those skills that you have that are unique, that you know are most in demand. Number three, in terms of being open for work, go out there and tell the world of work specifically how you want to work or what jobs appeal to you so that recruiters, when they look at your profile, they can see that open to work section, which says you're open for full-time jobs, you're open to migrate to new countries, you're open for remote work, you're open for volunteer work. Wherever you are on your career journey, you have an opportunity to leverage the open to work to tell recruiters, hiring managers, specifically where you are on your journey of looking for new opportunities. So tell them which geographies you are interested in working in, what type of work, and what kind of titles appeal to you. You talk about dream jobs. LinkedIn is making it easier for us to find dream jobs. What's more, if we go to the jobs tab on our LinkedIn profiles, we have an opportunity to go through common interview questions. We can go through those in preparation so that we put our best foot forward when we're being interviewed. What's more, we can take skills assessments. Remember the skills assessments? I said you get a 20% added advantage on your profile being discovered, shortlisted, and you being hired. When you do skills assessments, it increases your possibilities by a further 20%, making job hunting easy because the jobs come to you. You're the talent magnet. You have the skills. You have the experience. You have the recommendations, the endorsements. You have built out your profile to ensure that the world of work knows where you've come from, what jobs you've done, what projects you've done. And if you are a software developer, here's my advice to you. Use rich media to tell the story and to illustrate some of the things that you've done. So under work experience, who have you worked for? Was it a university? What work were you doing? What in terms of assisting with research? And what impact did that research have? And what skills did you apply in it? That's what you put in your work experience because you're telling a credible story of impact and results based on the skills that you have. And in that story, those skills and those words that we're using help recruiters identify, filter through, and find us for those economic opportunities. So make your job hunting, or at least your opportunity to get economic opportunities, easier. In terms of your LinkedIn profile, here's some tips for you. Those who are watching, take a screenshot or share this or watch this later. Some quick profile tips for the job seekers. Number one, get a great profile photograph. You don't need to go to a studio, even though I love photographers. You could just use your smartphone. Make it 60% your face. Use that background image to tell a story of the journey you're in, the industry you're in, or the things you're passionate with, or those that will drive people to be curious from a professional perspective to want to meet or engage with you. I've seen other people, of course, putting their contact details there. It's up to you. It's your profile. It's your brand. It's your story. Own it. Next, you want to then ensure that from a location perspective, you've correctly positioned yourself as a job seeker or even as a recruiter or a professional. In terms of location, where are you right now? Because when recruiters search in this world with the economic uncertainty that we're facing, we're not looking to maybe move people from one country or one region to another. We might be looking for talent within our locality. Or you might be looking for jobs just within your locality. So make sure your location is correct, because up to 330,000 searches are done every week just based on location. Number two, make sure that the logo for your school or for your place of work right now is showing. If the logo is not showing, there's a little gray box. That means a gray box instead of the logo. That means maybe you spelled it wrong. So click on that little pencil mark, wherever the company name is. Go in and start typing the first names of the institution. So if it's school, I went to the University of, start typing the 3 letters of that university and see what LinkedIn brings up and add it so that you become part of the alumni. It's important to become part of your alumni, because sometimes when they're searching to bring in interns, they're looking at specific universities to bring in people, or specific colleges, polytechnics, or wherever you've been educated. So make sure the logo of the company, where you're working, where you volunteered, where you've interned, or the school is showing on your LinkedIn profile. And under work experience, like I said, software developers, I'm encouraging you to tell a story. Who were you working for? What do they do? What impact results did you bring in that space, and what skills did you acquire? Tell that story so that ultimately when recruiters search, they're able to identify the skills, impact, and results that you bring into the world of work. Not a laundry list of what you did, but it's a story that's engaging. On your About section, I've moved away from work experience. On your About section, I encourage you to make it the digital billboard story of you. That's a dynamic section, the About section, where you can say, I'm a software developer. I aspire to be in higher education, so that whilst I'm working in higher education, I can use that time in a college or university to personally develop, or to work on research, or to work in an environment that provides for flexibility. So tell that story in your About section, and tell them also what skills you bring. Think of it as an elevator pitch. Introduce yourself, what you do, what makes you unique, and what you can bring into the world of work. All right, we're about to wrap this up. Like I said, as the hour mark is approaching. As software developers, my last advice for you in terms of work experience is use the rich media that you can attach onto your profile. So do you have project photographs? Maybe the company you work for, the institution that you work for, or the research work that you contributed to has a video on YouTube. Or maybe they have photographs. Or maybe you can associate other media that is coming from that organization or institution with the work that you did. You can add that rich media on your profile. It makes your profile come to life, and it is more dynamic and helps educate people about the work you did and the context. So leverage that opportunity to not only write about the skills that you have, but also to bring it to life by repurposing what's already in the public domain. All of us work for great organizations, universities, colleges, polytechnics, non-profits, or we work for commercial organizations or even government agencies. Those institutions have great media and content made by those fantastic people in PR, marketing, and corporate communications. Let's leverage those assets on our LinkedIn profiles to help the world of work understand who we worked for, what impact it brought, and some of the results maybe. So leverage that on your profile. Next, like I said, on education, make sure that your school's logo is showing on your profile because you become part of that school alumni. And then, of course, go out there and ensure that you add the skills that you have so that your first degree network can endorse you. And as we end off this live stream, I'm about to ask you for something. As you're on this live stream and as it is Friday, my ask of you today is that you go out there today and look in your network, your first degree connections. Which software developer do you know that is good at their job? Look at the skills that they have on their LinkedIn profile and endorse them. Yeah, let's be kind. Let's endorse a software developer that's within our network so that they can get access to economic opportunities. Let's attest to the skills they have. So you will see on their profile, they might have put in hard skills, soft skills, or behavioral skills, such as leadership skills. My ask of you of this Friday is go out there and endorse a software developer so that they get access to new economic opportunities. And if you really know them, my ask of you is to go in and give them a recommendations. On LinkedIn, we can give a written recommendation in terms of what we know about that person. On that recommendation, it's a testimonial. Don't trade them. It looks a little bit cheesy. Write it sincerely, but do not expect one in return. All right. As we wrap it up in terms of your profile, like I said, I want you to tell a digital story. The best quote for this comes from Jeff Bezos. You know him, Amazon, the man with the money. Jeff Bezos says this: your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. You hear that? Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So we want to educate recruiters, hiring managers, those who can recommend us, those who can hire us. We want to educate them on what influences us. Who do we follow on LinkedIn in terms of companies? What groups are we in? What influencers do we follow? What schools are we associated with? Because all of this tells a holistic story of the professionals we are as software developers. So if I am sincerely keen on working in higher education as a software developer, then I should be seen to be following higher educational institutions. And when you follow them, by the way, as a job seeker, guess what? When they post jobs or when they post content, you get to see it. And that ultimately helps you prepare for interviews. But when they're looking at your profile and you're not in the room, let your brand tell your story. Last but not least, a good friend of mine, Chris, says this: in this digital era that we're living in, sounds like a bit of a harsh quote, but here's the thing. In this digital era that we're living in, he says this: ability without visibility is an inability. Or you could reframe it this way: ability without visibility is a disability. Yeah? If people don't know that you're investing in getting the right skills, certifications, working on projects, building up a healthy network of other developers, sharing content, engaging with content, sharing your thought leadership, volunteering, if they don't know you're participating in events, conferences, to build your knowledge, that you're contributing back to the world of professional software developers, if they don't know that, how will they give you access to economic opportunities? So my ask of you as we end off this Sizzler stream is that you make time to build your personal brand, your personal story with your LinkedIn profile, the most valuable real estate you'll ever own on the internet, right? Our LinkedIn profiles, we have them as students, interns, employees, leaders, entrepreneurs, researchers, public speakers. We have them in retirement sitting on the board. This is where the world of professionals come together to find the best and to engage with the best. So software developers, that was a Sizzler stream from me. And as I said, on Monday is when it's all going to happen, because on Monday, we will be talking to recruiters, hiring managers. We'll be talking to talent acquisition professionals. I have a network of plus 28,000 people. Well over 5,000 recruiters have been invited to this. So come in, network, get to understand the interview questions, the skills they'll be looking for, and get to understand who is currently hiring. Monday the 29th at 9:30. Right now, I want to end it off by saying it's time to shine as a human being. Have a fabulous weekend. Thank you for joining me on the Sizzler. I'm sorry I didn't get around to questions, but I gotta go. I wish you a good weekend. And to end it off, I actually thought, how about ending it off with some humor? It's not Christmas. I know. Don't get upset with me, right? But I thought we could end it off by watching an interview with somebody we all know. You might find this funny. It might bring a smile on your face, and it might inspire you to join us on Monday, 9:30 Irish Standard Time, when we do How to Hire a Rockstar Software Developer. But for now, it's time to shine and enjoy this video as Santa is being interviewed.
Hey, Nicholas. It's nice to finally put a face to the voice.
Please call me Nick.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to come in for the head of toy production position. Can I offer you a snack or anything to drink?
No, thank you. I brought my own.
Well, it looks like you have a lot of toy industry experience. Please, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the toy business for a few many years. I've built a sophisticated toy distribution center up north, where I have developed and improved upon a order fulfillment system I like to call the List.
The List?
Yes, lightweight, intercontinental shipping team.
Okay, great. So what kind of customer-facing experience do you have?
Well, in my current role, I handle billions of global requests from some very demanding and yet childish customers. I pride myself in being able to read people, determining whether they're naughty or nice.
Very interesting. So why do you think that you're a good fit for this role?
Well, I really have a passion for spreading cheer on a global scale. And despite the demands of my job, I've never missed my annual deadline. In fact, some people don't even believe in me, and yet I still deliver to them on time.
That's unbelievable. So, Nick, how are you with attention to detail?
Oh, I am so meticulous that when I make a list in Excel, I check it twice.
You make a list and check it twice.
That's right. In fact, I have a list of references for you.
Okay, let's see here. Aaliyah, Aiden, Aaron, Abigail, Abby, Addison, Adrian.
Those are just the few names I had on hand. I can get you more if needed.
Great. Yeah, I'll go ahead and share this with the hiring manager. Just one last question. Am I getting an espresso maker for Christmas?